we got cut off. I don't know what I did. Every one of those boards that I glued together for that step was just that rough. And so what I did is originally is I got one side smooth, and then I glued those two sides, glued that against another side. And then what I did is glued them all up, and then with one side smooth, today I took and planed down or smoothed out the other side, and then came back and smoothed out the side that I had smoothed before. So right now, all of these boards are, roughly 1 inch thick. And so I'll take all this sawdust that I created this morning and put it in the black bag, and it'll ultimately hit the dumpster. I'm going to take you over here. Since it's raining, I have a variety of jobs that I do when it's raining, or if I have the energy, work into the evening. You can see we've got a lot of rubble here. I'm waiting to get enough so that I can fill a 30-yard dumpster. Things I'll work on today is, I've got some 2x4s I want to pull nails on. I'll use those someplace throughout this project, maybe when I frame out the basement next year. But you can see I got a fair amount of lumber. Here's the deck. I'll work on that this afternoon because it's supposed to stop raining. But I'll show you what this deck looked like. I told you how I had taken apart one section of it. So you see the deck, I stepped down here, but over there I took out a bunch of boards already. I only have 2.5 left over here, and then the railing, and then I'll be taking out these joists, they call them, floor joists. And then over here, remember, we had that screened-in sun porch. So what they had was carpet over this OSB or some type of plywood. And then that was nailed to just some 3/4 inch deck boards. So what I did the other day is I took the carpet off, because the glue was wet. And so here's boards that I've taken off of the deck. There's the carpet. What I'm doing is stacking it all over here so that I can, when I get that dumpster, get as much loaded into it as quickly as possible, because I only have it for a week. One thing that happened yesterday, and I touched on it in the blog, in the written notes in the blog, is I talked to a guy that does framing, and that's what I'm looking for, is somebody that will just do the framing for me, me and Linda, and then sort of coach and guide us on the different things that we want to do. So this room here, with the fireplace, remember, this wall is coming out, that wall is getting pushed back 4 feet. And my big concern was, I always thought this had been a garage down below, but it turns out, they put this medium density fiber board over it so that it could match up to the hardwood floors that we had. I gave those to my neighbor who's pulled them out. So John is his name, the carpenter framer that came over. We took this piece out, and unfortunately, down there, right there, 5.5 inches below this level here, is what had been a patio slab. And so they built right over that. Now, the problem that creates for us is, I want to have forced air heat in this room and in the 16 by 24 a room that goes out over where the deck currently is, and I cannot get, this concrete floor is just going to wick the cold in. And so the suggestion that this carpenter John had is, and I do not want electric heat in this room like they had. You see, they had an electric heater here, and then they had some over there, and in a closet. I don't want that. I want forced air heat. So we talked about it, and he said, you could bust out that. The only way you're going to get forced air through here is to have more room. He says you could bust out that patio, which is about 6 inches deep, and you could then excavate and put a basement in. And what would have to happen is this wall here would have to go, but that wall's going anyway. The ceiling and the roof line would all have to be off up to, and including this, up, entirely blue sky. We would have to lose the fireplace and that wall and replace it with something else. The problem with the fireplace, it looks pretty enough, but the fact is on the outside you can see, he pointed where there's stress marks where the brick is cracking. So, the footings are probably either old or were insufficient to support that fireplace flue that goes up the outside of the house. So right now, I'm asking the concrete guy to give me a bid on what it will cost to excavate this out and remove that slab. Because really all we end up with for additional walls is right along here. Because what we had, remember this, we were putting a basement under this for storage. Think of it this way, the wall that would have normally gone between the frost wall for this and out there, because this is only a 42-inch footing, the frost wall, or that wall, instead of it being put there, would be put over here, which would be the end of the basement. Over here, there is already a concrete wall which goes into our existing basement. Remember, this is a slab in this room. So we'd be able to move that back, basically whatever cost we had for this, we were just pushing it back here, and then the only thing we'd have to do is put in an 8-foot concrete wall under here, because this would all be gone. And then what we would do is frame this wall up, and we'd be able to put a fireplace wherever we want. Right now we're planning on probably a gas fireplace upstairs. Linda's been thinking about a wood fireplace downstairs. We have to explore that more, but that's what happened yesterday. I very much embrace this idea. We get a basement, and it's going to cost us something. It's some of the cheapest space you can get in a house. So that's what happened yesterday. This afternoon when the rain, and it looks like it almost did stop, when it's a little drier, I'll go out and work on removing that deck. I'm hoping to have it done by tomorrow. But I spent 4 hours with this guy yesterday, talking about the project, what he can do, what we need. He came up with that idea, which I really like. I think he's a common sense type guy. So today I have my list. One of the things was to plane those cherry steps. Some of the other stuff, this is my to-do list that I always keep, sort of a longer term project list. Here, you can see cherry steps to the basement, pull some nails. I got some lumber downstairs I want to pull. I want to get rid of that little kitchen closet. I want to take those walls out, and I'd like to change my planer blades. So, or jointer blades. So these are the jointer blades. Remember that jointer is the thing that makes it flat to begin with so that you can run it through the planer. Now, as far as this kitchen, little kitchen closet, that's it right there. Right there. I want to take that out. It's not a load-bearing wall. It's something that has to come out anyway, so it'll be one of my fill-in projects for today. Because once I get once I can get back out and work on the deck demo, my plan is now to take out all of the ceilings throughout the entire house and to demo those, get them into the dumpster as well as the insulation that's up there. So it'll be a big job, but something that when you get done at the end of the day, you'll be able to say, wow, look at all I did. So thanks for looking. I know the video got a little long. Apologize for that, but hopefully it was worth it. Take care. Every day's a holiday, every meal's a banquet.